and I want to say, hey neighbor. I am feeling so many things and mostly just deeply emotional, and want to preface by saying that I don't know how that emotion is gonna move through me, and so I'm just gonna do the very best I can with what I have. But I do want to say that I have been a part of this community for my entire life. I grew up on St. James Place. I lived right down there on El Sereno, and Altadena. I haven't been home, like many of you. I haven't been home for a year, and I don't.
Go ahead.
Prior to the fire, I would push my kids' stroller up this street to visit my parents in St. James. It was the kind of community where our families lived close enough so that we could have connectedness even between homes. And I was proud to raise my children in that environment. When I think about what was lost in this fire, the words literally stop in my throat because it is too much to describe. But what I want to speak to tonight is that West Altadena, where we are now, is so many things to so many of us, but it is also a historically Black community. And West Altadena is where people like my dad, a Black jazz musician, could come and buy a home and build a family. And if you know anything about this country, you know that that is a special place. That is a special place that deserves protecting. And he and my mother and our family, we built our life here. A life that included backyard birthday parties and goofy talent show rehearsals and homework on the kitchen table and bedtime routines. And up until last year, we had our own bedtime routine that I would take, my husband and I would walk actually Carrie, even when they're babies, our 5 and our 3-year-old, down the hallway, and we would pass by what was hung there, which was an art piece by my great-grandmother's mother. Her name was Cassie, and she grew up on a sharecropping farm, and she died on that sharecropping farm. And I don't know anything about what her life was like, but I know that her time, she did not have spare time. But in the time that she had, just the littles that she could eke out of what her life was, she made cotton into yarn, and that yarn into art, and that hung on the wall in my house. And every night I would take my kids past Grandma Cassie and I would say, let's say goodnight, Grandma Cassie. And I did that because I wanted my kids, and I want my kids to know that inside of their blood is a blood of resilience, of a people who have been through, who have fled, who have migrated, and who have left things behind, have been erased, who get a page in a history book if we're lucky. And I want my kids to know that inside of their DNA are answers, inside of our lineages are stories and purpose that can guide them and make them strong. I want them to know who they are. Every people deserves to have the things that tell us and remind us of who and what we are. This was the most expensive fire and most expensive disaster ever in the history of this country. More expensive than Hurricane Katrina. I was actually shocked to learn that. But when I think about that tally, it doesn't mean that much to me because I know they're not counting that art on the wall, my grandma Cassie's art. I know that's not going in that tally. And when a historically Black community burns down, it is things like that that we lose, the precious things. And so after the fire, I, like so many of you, started asking questions. I thought, how is it that this could have happened? How is it that historically dry conditions and an anticipated windstorm was not enough to create some amount of preparation? How was there only one fire truck sent to West Altadena? How was was it that there were disabled people in their homes who called 911 and did not get anyone to respond? How was it that people were running from flames, did not get evacuation warnings? How was it that this catastrophe happened in such a way that people died? When we have a $4 billion, 17,000 personnel sheriff's department is in charge of evacuations, we have infrastructure, we have fire hydrants that are supposed to work. How is it that all of this happened this way? I had those as a mother. I had those questions in my belly as a person who wants to return to this community but not be stupid to return because none of this stuff works. I want answers. And I shouldn't be sidelined because I have both sadness, grief, gratitude for the support, but also anger in my belly in this moment. I'm not going to apologize for that. Thankfully, we do have a structure. We have a structure for moments just like this, and a person whose responsibility it is to get to the bottom of failures by counties, failures by officials, civil rights violations. There is one person who is legally responsible to investigate. One person. Who is that person? Who? Bonta. Who is the Attorney General of this state? And if you don't know, now you know. Okay, the Attorney General of this state is required and is authorized to be the person to investigate when things like this happen. Now, let me tell you something that surprised me. After Maui burned, after Lahaina fire, guess how many days it took for that Attorney General to investigate that fire? 4 days. How many days out and we still don't have an investigation? 365. Who is the person that owes us an investigation? Attorney General Bonta owes this community investigation. And listen, this is not an agitational ask. This is not us being disruptive and radical and whatever all the names they want to call us to quiet us and whatever. This is not pointing fingers. We're not even saying you need to be fired and you need to be fired. We're asking for answers. Just answer our questions. And no, we don't trust a report by the county to investigate the county. We don't trust that. And no, we don't think a report commissioned by the state is enough to arrive us at answers or trustworthy avenues toward accountability. And let me tell you what, in Attorney General Bonta, I do think we have someone who will listen. We have been emailing him, calling him, contacting him. We have data scientists and lawyers and mothers and all kinds of people who have full-time jobs who don't have any kind of time for this, who have been calling on him politely, quietly, collaboratively. And we are now at a point where we got some shirts, okay? I don't want y'all to say we went right there and we're angry and crazy, because we are not those people. We are people who have lost things. We are mothers, we are community members, we are healthcare workers, we are, all of us deserve and want answers. And we are now at this point where what we are realizing is that we need all of you, we need all of us, we need every single person to be asking and telling Attorney General Bonta, will you please show up for us? And so all of these people here have QR codes. If you are willing to scan it and send a letter tonight to Attorney General Bonta, I believe that we can tip the scale before he makes any kind of announcements about any kind of ambitions in political office. Let us please have him show up for us, because it's not just about Altadena. What we know that is that there will be more climate refugees in this state, that there will be more disasters in this place, in this state. It might not be Altadena, but LA County's big. And we all deserve safety in our homes, and we deserve this fire to be properly dealt with, investigated. And so we ask you to join us. Come see one of us for a flyer. I'm very grateful for all of you because you are my community, you are my neighbors, and because I am rebuilding, you will continue, I hope, to be my neighbors and soon my friends. And thank you, Dr. Michelle. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you are willing and wanting